The comfort zone is a dangerous place. It is a place where growth does not happen. If you really want to grow as a human being, as an individual, true growth will only happen outside your comfort zone. And this is something I've been trying to practice in my life, in my own personal life, trying to push myself out of my comfort zone to see how far I can go. Hi, my name is Kumal. I'm an accountant by day and an avid reader by night, and in these videos I like to stretch myself out of the comfort zone and to do things that I would have never envisioned myself doing, like making these videos. I recently came across a book called The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. This book, the subtitle of the book is called Embrace Discomfort to Reclaim Your Wild, Happy, Healthy Self. This book is phenomenal because Michael Easter, the author, basically explains the journey he has been through his addictions and through being stuck in his comfort zone and how he came out of his comfort zone. And it's a very reflective, inspiring and motivational book where it shows what growth can happen outside the comfort zone. The things that you can achieve by pushing yourself and doing things that are so uncomfortable, and you do them anyways, because then you prove to yourself, not to anyone else, you prove to yourself that you can do it, because you can. So I learned 3 lessons that I'd like to share from this book, which I think were very, very important lessons, and I hope you find them useful as well. The first lesson that I've already touched upon is that growth happens outside the comfort zone. Discomfort is a gateway to growth. So when I stretch myself out of my comfort zone, when I do things that are so uncomfortable, that's when true growth happens. One of the ways I did that was to start making these videos. So these videos are something that are not natural to me. It's not something that I would naturally want to sit in front of a camera and talk to the camera, talk to you, and summarize a book or some lessons that I've learned in a way that would hopefully benefit someone or no one. It's not my character, but I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone and see how far I can stretch myself and do things that are so uncomfortable that eventually I start enjoying them, or I start making them as part of who I am. So I think that's one of the first lessons that I learned was discomfort is where growth happens. Discomfort is the way to embrace growth. When you embrace discomfort, that's when you truly grow. The second lesson that I learned that he talks about in this book is a Japanese concept called Misogi. He says, embrace your Misogi. What is Misogi? Misogi is doing one hard thing, extremely hard thing every year. It could be a physical thing, a mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is. It is a place where you stretch yourself so much that there's a 50% chance of you failing at that. And you do it despite that. So I personally have, in the last couple of years, I've tried to do these things in terms of pushing myself out of the comfort zone and seeing where I reach. So like I said, one of the things that I did last year was start this YouTube video. But another thing that I did last year that was so way out of my comfort zone that I am even surprised I did it. So before I tell you what it is I need to tell you that I am terrified of heights. Ever since I was a young child, I have always been terrified of heights, that even when I used to go swimming, I would be scared to jump off the diving board only because I was so terrified of the heights. When I go to a high building and I look down, there's a fear that develops in me. And I thought, I want to come face to face with these fears. I want to acknowledge the fears and just face it head on. And I thought, what is the best way to face my fears? And I think the best way to face my fears of heights is to basically jump off a plane, skydiving. And I did that. So last year I went skydiving here in the UK, and I jumped off at a height of 15,000 feet. To give you some context, an aeroplane flies around 30,000 feet. So this was halfway to where an aeroplane flies. In the UK, you have an option. You can jump off at 6,000 feet, 8,000 feet, 9,000 feet, 10,000 feet, 12,000 feet, and 15,000 feet. That's the highest you can jump off. And I thought, if I'm doing something, I might as well do it to the best way possible. So 15,000 feet it was. And I jumped. I did it. And I have the video to prove it. And besides that, I have the sense of satisfaction to know that I did something so uncomfortable that even I am surprised that I could do something like that. I did it. And you can too. Despite of being scared of heights, terrified of heights. I'm still scared of heights, but now I know that sometimes it's just in the head. It's just in your mind. You are scared more in the mind than you actually are. I mean, I was, no doubt, when we climbed up for around 15 minutes to reach the height of 15,000 feet. And when the doors opened and the blast of wind came to my face, and I looked down and I saw how high we were, the fear obviously crept in. But as soon as I jumped, I was so focused on the jump and being in the moment that I forgot the fear completely while I was jumping. I was just enjoying the ride. It's phenomenal experience, and I think you should try it. Everyone should try it if they can. So that was last year, and then this year I thought, okay, I want to push myself. So again, last year what I did was I realized that one of the things that actually 2 years ago, one of the things that I really hated doing was running. I hated running, detested it, especially on a cold, wintry, dark morning. I just couldn't see myself as a runner. I started running just to push myself and see where I get on. This was 2023, so 2 years ago. And then I decided last year that I need to push myself. So I'd done 4 half marathons by then last year. And I thought, okay, I need to push myself to do a full marathon. A full marathon is 26.2 miles, around 42 kilometers. It's a long distance, I can tell you, because I did one this year. So this year, I signed up for the London Marathon last year, and this year I did the marathon. And I won, well, I got the medal here, the London Marathon. You can see it's the biggest medal and the one that shines the most out of my collection, and the one that I'm the most proud of. But not because I want to show it off to anyone else. I'm the most proud of it because I know how hard I had to work for it. I know how much I pushed myself, and I know how much I pushed myself out of my comfort zone to get that. No one else will know that except me. But the sense of satisfaction that I get from knowing that, I will take this to my grave, to my deathbed, because I will be proud of the person I have become through doing hard things. And that's the point. When you embrace your misogi, you do these difficult things. Who knows what next year will bring? I'm not sure, but I will definitely try and do something adventurous, something that pushes me out of my physical, mental, emotional, spiritual comfort zone, where there's a 50% chance of failure, but I'll do it anyways because I want to prove to myself that I can do it. The third lesson that I learned from Michael Easter's book is that this modern comfort that we have, this sense of gratification, instant gratification, where we are constantly gratified. I mean, I want to make a coffee, I have an instant coffee made. I want something instant. I can just whip something in the microwave and the food is instantly made. I don't have to cook my food. It's such an instant gratification that this world is making us lazy. It's making us very lazy. And in fact, one of the things that I love about reading is that reading is not comfortable. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy reading. I love reading. But reading requires focus, it requires time, dedication. You got to sit there for an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, and focus. You have these thoughts that are constantly chattering in your mind that you have to like fight against. Well, let it acknowledge and let it pass through, as our Zen masters would tell us. People who are more spiritually inclined would tell us just let it pass through. But you have to be disciplined. You have to be able to keep on persevering while you're reading a text. I mean, this book has around 300 pages. So it's not a short book. It's not like 5 pages, right? So 10 pages. But the comfort and the satisfaction you get out of doing that is much more than the comfort you would get. This comfort crisis that we have is actually a crisis. It doesn't make us happy. We have the rate of obesity that we have in America is phenomenal, is over the roof. Like, people are just obese because they're not moving. They're just stuck where they are. And I think it's time that we wake up, that being in the comfort zone and being so comfortable will not make us happy. In fact, I am happier having run a marathon despite the pain that I felt, so much pain that I've never felt this much physical pain ever in my life as I did in the marathon. But I'm so happy as a result of it. I'm so happy. And that's the whole point. When you embrace the comfort, the area outside the comfort zone, then true growth happens. That's when true growth happens. And I think that's the last lesson that I learned, that I have to voluntarily try and do things that are uncomfortable just to push myself out of my comfort zone and see how I get on, because that is where true growth will happen. True growth will only happen when I embrace this uncertainty outside my comfort zone. So I hope that inspires you, one, to read the book for sure, but more importantly, I hope that inspires you to do your own thing. I mean, running a marathon might not be that uncomfortable for you because you are a runner anyway, so it's not really your misogi, because it's not something that pushes you, but something else might be. Maybe doing an Ironman would be outside your comfort zone, or I don't know, climbing a mountain would be outside your comfort zone, or I don't know, giving a public talk, doing some public speaking might be outside your comfort zone, or I don't know, asking for a pay rise, something as small as that might be outside your comfort zone. It could be anything. So I think that's when we embrace this situation, this station outside the comfort zone, the circle outside the comfort zone, that's when we start growing, truly growing. And I think that's something each and every one of us should try and adopt in our lives, so that we can be proud of our lives. We can be happy that we lived a life that we are proud of, not anyone else. So I hope that inspires you to do something that is misogi, that is your misogi, uncomfortable every year, to push yourself outside your comfort zone. And if you do, please let me know. I'd love to hear what you did and how you got on. And I'm definitely rooting for you, because I want you to do it, and I want you to push yourself outside your comfort zone, so that you can prove to yourself. You don't have to prove to anyone else that you can do it. So until then, thank you for listening to me talking about The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter, something that was very uncomfortable for me to do in terms of making these videos, but that I'm more comfortable doing now because I've done it for a while, and I've come to accept that I have to stop thinking about what other people think about me, but rather I have to focus on what I can do, which is relay the book. If someone listens to it, then I'm happy. If someone doesn't, then I'm still happy, because I did what I wanted to do, which was to summarize a book that I found interesting, that I thought would give a good lesson, and I was hoping that someone would listen to it. So that's how I embrace the area outside my comfort zone. Thank you very much. Until next time, see you soon.